this way before. Travel through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened oh so fast. Though it got lonely, sometimes you see I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm offbeat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold on. I never. This is where I am destined to be.
We gonna get to the hook.
I'm not ready to give up. No. I believe.
All right, here we go, y'all. Sing at the top of your lungs.
Of life. Life's a break with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's only what you do. Some things you gotta do.
Hey, barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. So, you know, I'm debriefing from my quick 36 hours in Las Vegas, and I can't help but be disgusted, you know, at media. Literally disgusted, man. It all right, let me grab my bearings so I don't go off on this emotional tangent and just give like see if I can stay room temperature on this one before I go off. But I watch, and I watched as much as I could. You guys know I don't fuck with Goldoy and or Sergey Kovalev. It's like, who do I want to lose the most? You know what I mean? But I watched how the media move, and I literally didn't hear anything. I mean, you can talk about YouTube channels, you can talk about major outlets, you can talk about boxing scene, you can talk about whatever you want. And it's very apparent that there is a memo out or fear that how can you not ask Sergey Kovalev about punching a woman in the face? Simple question, right? Or Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, sexually assaulting another woman, right? And then you're going to hear women in media talk about how they're disrespected by men. They don't get the same respect as men. Well, I mean, this is a great week for women to be women. In my humble opinion, it's a great weekend for women to say that, hey, we have savages in this sport. Hey, that's somebody's mother, somebody's sister, someone's auntie, someone's daughter. And we're not covering this? And then let's go to the flip side of who say, Fred's he's racist. He's biased. Meanwhile, you're around the same people for 2 to 4 days, depending on your budget. And not one question, not to Buddy McGirt, not to Sergey Kovalev, Kafti Duva, and the list goes on and on and on, man. It's not a sad world we live in, but it's sad that people aren't honest with the world that we live in. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I am who I am. You know, I wish I could have stayed in Vegas longer, but I couldn't. I didn't want to miss my son's soccer game 2 weekends in a row because I'll be in Alabama next weekend, and I was like, I'm not missing my son's soccer game for a Canelo Kovalev fight. Like, that makes no sense. So that's why I went early in the week, you know. And it necessarily it definitely validates my purpose. Um, I heard on Trill Boxing Talk, and they were talking about it, and I spoke about it in previous videos. Obviously, shit, I've been talking about it since the inception of my channel, since the conception of my channel, since the conception of my life, since I was born. You know, for that matter. And it's just amazing. See, people think it's the credential. In addition to the credential, they want to be validated by people who don't pay their bills. They think that they're validated by the credentials that they have and or get. Um, it's just it's not cool, man. And I really wish and hope and pray. It's two part. It's flip side. The black athletes got to see this. If the black, I mean, how can you look at this weekend? If I'm Adrian Broner, and I'm mentioning his name because he's had some off the uh, issues. You got Floyd Mayweather. Most recently, you have Errol Spence. Um, and I mean, shit, Victor Ortiz. Um, the list goes on and on. And people people say, "Oh, Fred, you got to do videos on." Well, let me get back to what I'm saying. These athletes got to realize that they're gonna attempt to seek and destroy you. I ain't lying. I'm not lying. You ain't seen no articles or no videos about road to recovery for any of these athletes or um, fighters or promoters or as it relates to these black fighters. They want to demonize them, to be the villain, right? As 78 says, somebody got to play the villain, right? They're waiting on a black villain. And it couldn't be more apparent. I'm glad Earl is well. His stories, he's moving around and probably got some healing to do physically. Um, but it it bothers me that we are held to the higher standard on both ends of the stick. We got to do more, and we got to have the best character. We got to Joet Gonzalez walked out of the ring yesterday and no one reported. I mean, because if that was Adrian, remember when Adrian Broner did it against Maidana? Not May, yeah, Maidana. That was world breaking news. Sore loser, crybaby. He's this, he's that. But these black athletes need to fully grasp and understand that um, they're out to seek and destroy you. And like I said, they don't call you nigga to your face anymore. They just give people like Oscar and Sergey 10 million chances, but only give us one. I it's just beside me that women who, eh, and I'm talking about women as a whole. I mean, I'm not, I'm definitely not. I don't want to make this video about one woman, two women, three women media outlets. But at the end of the day, how can you sit there as a media member as a woman? I would, you know what I would do to my daughter? You know what I would say? Not do. I wouldn't hit my daughter, but you know what I would say to my daughter? If she was a female media member covering this fight and she didn't ask the questions that I raised her in a certain manner, I spent let's say I spent 26 years. Let's say she's 26. I spent 26 years raising this woman, and the credentials silenced her voice. When her fucking mom is a doctor and her dad is an Emmy nominated film producer, and we beat the odds. We are unapologetically who we are. I've engraved you to be bold. I've engraved you to be brave and beautiful and any other positive B adjective we can use, you know? We've raised you this way, and you go to a media credential and you're not talking because why? They're not more successful than your mom. You were raised in the house to be bold. You were raised in the house to speak your mind. You were raised to be fearless. And not one woman asked Sergey, not one female media member asked Sergey Kovalev about his sexual assault cases. You got to question yourself. I mean, it is beyond my own understanding. When is it just cool to be subservient? M- Malcolm X spoke eloquently about the media. Y'all need to go watch that speech. You know, it's just, there's only a few people left, y'all. I'm just gonna be candidly honest. There's only a few people left who say what they mean and mean what they say. I'm just being real, you know, because I would call my daughter if I would call Lincoln if I mean if I knew this was Kennedy's job and she sat back and did this for a credential and she's funding her own trips and it's not even about the money. It's just about the character and the integrity, you know. But that's why there's only a few of us left. But I guarantee you, those same women, these same men that are covering these credentials, these men are wearing skirts, man. You know, I've always been this way, man. It's too many people using the term "I'm a real one." Too many media members are using the term "real one." I'm the best. What else? The term they use, you know. But when in fact they lack integrity. Everyone's making money. I mean, whether you're making 1 cent or $1 million, everyone's profiting off of this, you know, and rightfully so. It's a business. It's a for-profit business. You're supposed to make money, but when you can see the deficit in respect as it relates to black versus everybody else, it 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 makes me feel a certain way, you know. And what time? It's 2:33 in the morning, and I was tossing and turning on this topic, and I was like, man, I'm gonna just get this out as best I can. So, um, but yeah, man, it's appalling. It really is because if if a female reporter was assaulted and or disrespected in the media room, they would want us to cover it, right? If a black athlete was doing something bad, and I'll be real, I had so many black people calling me, and this self-hate is real, like male and female telling me, and or I should say communicate with me because you can email me, you can DM me, you can text me, whatever you want, telling me that I should report on Earl Spence. Kathy Duver said, we have a judicial system. You're innocent till proven guilty. Bernard Hopkins says you're innocent till proven guilty. Why not with Floyd? Why not with Broner? Why not with Earl? But you're gonna pay attention. Pay attention to how comfortable these media members are when they talking to Earl and Adrian Broner, and people just go in on them, and you know, it's just absurd to me. It's just absurd to me, man, because I wouldn't allow Kennedy to be subservient to any man as it relates to the business field. And, you know, I mean, I definitely would want her to have that grace as it relates to creating her own family and, you know, loving a man. But as it relates to workforce and real life. And I'm not talking about a combat. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not talking about that. You go get daddy. You know what I mean? Um, but hmm, it's just a cold world we live in, man. And when you understand it, when you can sit here and when you can see it from real life, you gonna win at this motherfucker. You gonna be able to manipulate variables. Fighters better focus and pay attention. You better have good character if you black. You better be a good boy. They ain't gonna accept you either way. I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather's career, man. He tried it every which way. You know what I mean? And then he got the confidence to say, F it. I'm gonna do it my way. You know, look at Deontay Wilder. He says and does how he pleases. And he's the king, literally the king of boxing. He's the face of boxing right now. People say he's not. Well, I haven't really heard too many people say he's not, but I know my brothers have been talking about it. And I'm gonna tell you how I know that he is because I was there Thursday. I was there Thursday in the MGM. Kind of flat, kind of empty. And two, Canelo's been downsized from the T-Mobile to the MGM. Been downsized, and there's lots of rooms available at the MGM. So, but I just want us to really dig in and sink our teeth into this. And the next time someone says we got to be equal, we got to be fair, I told you guys it's not about that. It's about equity. The reason why they want us to be fair because we have the majority of the equity in this boxing game. You don't believe me? I'm going to prove it to you right now. I just watched the Showbox card, and I love the camaraderie between all of them. All those brothers and sisters. Tank Davis, there was Devin Haney in the building. David, Adrian Broner, Erickson Lubin, Carissa Shields, Shakur Stevenson, and obviously there's a lot more. But the point I'm making is all week it's been no buzz for the Canelo fight. Um, but if they go to the Canelo fight, that changes everything. That changes the whole synopsis of it. You know what I mean? It's it's the reality of it. You know what I mean? We are the sauce. You know what I mean? We the seasoning. We the seasoning salt. We the hot sauce. Hmm. Ranch, Thousand Islands, blue cheese. And it's time that we stand up and honor and recognize that. You know, it's I'm excited. I'm excited to keep doing what I'm doing and ruffling feathers and hopefully waking people up. And you know the catch about this? Here's the whole I should have said this at the beginning of the video because a lot of people ain't gonna make it down this far. I'm doing all this without a credential. Just leaning on, just working, just grinding. I know people's algorithms. I know boxing week's algorithms. I know how to get interviews. I know how to catch people and you know what I mean? And you know the funny thing is, you never know how easy and great something is until you actually do it. I get all one-on-one interviews for the most part now. Oh, it makes my life so much easier when I can just have a conversation, you know what I mean? And just talk, 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 talk. Interview, interview, interview. They talk to me and it becomes a great conversation, you know? And catch of the matter is I'm gonna tell the black fighters something and I'm gonna encourage them to do so. Embrace the people who's giving you a chance. It's not just black people that are giving you a chance, but I'm gonna say for the most part, black people are giving you a chance. Embrace that. because this week, sir, I mean, you got the primary variables with pending cases. Sergey goes to court November 25th. I haven't heard no one ask the question. No one. Canelo, his own, has more guile than all the media members. But for women to sit there, for women media members to sit there and not ask Sergey or Oscar is shameful, and yet they want to be equal. It's appalling. For me, it is. I pray to God I'm not raising us a silence, a daughter who could be silenced for a piece of paper to be valid to validate her. Hopefully, my work ethic and Dre's work ethic, and hopefully Lincoln's work ethic and Lincoln's ability to be a big brother to her is enough. I pray to God, man, every day. Man, y'all know what it's like to be parents, and you know the um the expectations that I mean, anyways. But I will be devastated. Me being the person that I am, I would be devastated if Kennedy was silenced by a credential. It's you better ask those questions. You better do you better do your job. And people say, Fred, why you doing what you doing? It's for my kids, man. They gotta live in a better America. I gotta leave this place. And the only thing you gotta stand on your square. You gotta bet and believe in yourself. Every fight that I've gone to has been on my dime. No one's paid me. I've intentionally not taken money from these fighters. I've intentionally not taken money from promoters. I've intentionally not taken money from any. No one in boxing can say I gave Fred anything, anything, anything. I always offer to pay. You know, I I I, I just believe that if I do something like that, um, down the line, it's gonna, character references and all that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about in terms of taking for, but we are going to do some sponsorship sometime soon. I've had offers to be sponsors, but I'm not giving up all this sweat equity for 3 cents on the dollar. Not doing it. You know what I mean? Respect the integrity. I respect my integrity too much. You know, barbershop conversation is a renowned space in boxing now. Can you believe that shit? You know why? Because I ask questions. My haters respect me. That's why they come every day and comment. I block them. They get a new Gmail account. I block them. They get another Gmail account. They take my credentials. I never cared about the credentials. I've snuck in over 100 media members in fights. Never cared. Never really, really cared. Mm-mm. So um, we got work to do, y'all. And moving forward, black athletes choose, manipulate media wisely. You need their platforms. Excuse me, you don't need their platforms. It's favorable. It can be favorable to you if you know what you're doing. You know, go watch Muhammad Ali tapes and see how he does his interviews. It's just oh man, you know. I'm very intentional in my real life. Like if you know me, I'm very, very intentional with my words. If you guys think I'm straightforward on the internet, I use metaphors and I try and make it as colorful and entertaining for you as possible. But if you know me in my private life, I'm very, very, very straightforward. You know what I mean? And I just wish that our brothers and sisters on the flip side can get the same treatment. You know what I mean? Carissa Shields, man, they dogged that woman. They dogged her. They dogged her. And now female media members are silent now. How can you be silent? It's just me, man. I'm just, you know what I mean? If something, I'm gonna tell you something. If something happens to a black athlete in a negative way, minimum, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Minimum, I will get 25 messages. Minimum. You gonna do a story on this? You gonna do a video on this? You gonna talk about this? I ain't lying to you. The self-hate is real. I'm telling you. So, anyways, man, it's 2:46 in the morning, and I'm nowhere near tired because I hate the gift and the curse in me is that I internalize everything. You know what I mean? Like I internalize everything, man. I'll be spinning my fucking wheels. You know what I mean? And on the flip side, it's the blessing because it allows me to ISO focus and give 100%. Nothing I do in my life is part time. You know, so anyhow, man, I just Lincoln got a game in 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30 in 6 hours. So, anyways, man, that'll be the highlight of my Saturday. I'll be damned if I miss Lincoln's soccer game for Sergey Kovalev and Canelo fight. You know, but I'm tempted to go live for that fight. Someone send me a link too. Someone send me a link to the to that fight. A good link. All right. Well, someone give me their DAZN password so I can watch the fight. I think I may go live for that fight. You know, we'll see. Because I want y'all to see and hear the differences. I'm not saying I'm the best play-by-play guy. I'm not even on that type of time. But I want y'all to see. I want y'all to see the difference in how they treat people. I guarantee you the entire announcer will not ever mention about Sergey Kovalev pending cases. Remember when Floyd fought in May and then he went to jail? I forget who that opponent was. I covered the fight. Drawing a blank. Every round. He's going to jail after the fight. He's going to jail after the fight. He's doing this. He's doing that. Anyhow, man. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. Where we at? It's all in what we do. I love this song. Let's rewind the song because we're gonna drop the song next week. Let's listen to it.
I come this way before.
Travel through the open door.
Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened oh so fast. Though we got lonely sometimes, you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet.
Even when you're off beat, you still land on your feet.
I know life took a hold of me. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it.
Here we go, y'all.
Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do. And if it's fight for millions, seconds, see the blessing in it. But much expected,
much is given. That's why I gotta do my fucking job.
Never let the power come first before your happiness.
Yes.
You can be the.
See, if I would have got rich in my 20s, No woman would have been safe.
You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine on.
God said, I'm gonna give it to you in your late 30s and your 40s, because that way you'll be in your purpose phase.
It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it through like, ooh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm acing. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my.
If you have any doubts, I wrote this. Listen to all the boxing references.
Fighting for recognition, I'm fighting just to promote
the entire song.
Lacking while cancer slowing our road. I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, give something away. Never give up.
You hear the background vocals?
To fight another.
Who produced this track?
10 toes, 2 feet. I stand on the ground.
10 toes, 2 feet. That's a reference I use every day of my life.
I know life's a paper, no so learn quickly, they'll come for your blow. Can't take it personal, 'cause the devil is alive. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta prove. Hey, 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 hey.
I added this because I knew this beat was so soulful, and I could just see people vibing in their car, like having that emotional, spiritual reaction to this song. No more, y'all. No more, y'all. No more. Hey, you know how Timbaland got that shit, this beats, you know what I mean? He let his beat ride, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Nipsey do the same thing too. Anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. I love y'all, man, and be cognizant, y'all, of the realities of of the world we live in. Remember, boxing is a microcosm of life, and how they treat you in boxing is how they gonna treat you in real life, man. So control every square you walk on, control every step you take, control every breath you make, you know what I mean? And control everything you create. Barbershop conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you soon. Peace.